Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 2 of my playthrough of Under Ashen Skies from Black Oath Entertainment. This is a horror, kind of discovery horror, is I think the term I've been using. I don't know if that's how Alex describes it, but it's fun game, modern game, and it's kind of in a world that you don't really know what's happened. You wake up in your apartment complex and you kind of discover who you are and what's happening as you go. So, session one, quick recap. My character named Frank Sloan woke up in his apartment room building on the second floor of this apartment complex, and he explored a little bit. He's got a wrench to protect himself, and he kind of looked around a few rooms, saw some weird crap. You can watch session one if you'd like to see what he found. And then ultimately, he did locate a special NPC called a dramatis persona, and that person's name is Sammy. And Sammy asked us to help her by finding an herb of each color. So I don't quite know what that means, but probably discover as I keep going through the town of Riverside. But that's pretty cool. It's neat to find a special NPC like that, especially in my first session. So went through several rooms, and where we last left off, I actually ran into what's called a phonoi, which is a monster, a creature in the town of Riverside. So I'm going to open their description, read that again, and we'll get kicking off. And last thing I'll say is, if you hear a little bit of the background ambiance music, that is from Monument Studios. I'm using their Fantasy Plus player, and the playlist I'm using is called Dystopian World. And I just kind of clicked on a track called Old Town. If you're interested, they do still have a Kickstarter. They've blown through most of their stretch goals. They have one more that will really allow them to add a lot of bells and whistles to their fantasy players. So if you're interested, I think another week or two left on the Kickstarter. All right. So the entity or the monster that I ran into is called a screamer. And the description of the screamer is as follows: a little girl stands before you, but where her eyes should be, nothing but the void of endless horror sits. Her mouth stretches far too wide, and her enormous flat teeth gnash and gnaw at the air in anticipation of the taste of your flesh. Not anyone's flesh, but your flesh. She drops to her hands and feet, skittering towards you up and over the wall like a giant human spider. Love it. So, all right. So, Frank, I was cautious, and what that means is we get to do an opposed check. So, it's our stealth against the entity's awareness. So, we'll start by rolling my d20, and I can open the character sheet so that you see, but I have a 10 for sneaking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll a d20 plus 10. See what we get here. Not great, so that's a 16. So the awareness of the screamer is a 10. So unfortunately, they get to roll a d20 and plus 10, as I understand it, because it's an opposed roll. So I'm gonna roll a black die for them. And let's re-roll that because they won. I'm just kidding. Unfortunately, so the screamer won. So let's look back at our guide. There's a lot going on in Under Ashen Skies. So I have a guide that helps me understand where we are with an encounter here. And I'm going to pop over sorry, I meant to mention we're using Sojour. Sojour is a solo VTT that I love. And I actually put Under Ashen Skies into this, and I've released this for free on my Discord if you're interested, just to help you get started and be able to play this solo game. And Sojour, now I'm trying to remember how much it is. I won't say how much it is because I forget now, but great solo VTT, and I would encourage you to check out their website. All right, so I'm in session 2 of their journal here, and I'm going to do this and say, we'll say stealth. I don't really want to, yeah, maybe I just need to double quote that and get out of this. And I'll say stealth roll lost. And yeah, I need to get better at how to kind of do the shortcuts in the journal here so I don't waste time. So I lost my stealth roll, so I did not pass. So I do not move along undetected. So now I need to roll for the encounter reaction. So let's go back. I think I know what that is, but we'll go back to encounter reaction in here. Yeah, let's go back to my PDF, and I'm going to look for that encounter reaction. All right, you roll a d10, and so let's just roll that d10. And I rolled an 8, so the creature is aggressive and attacks on a 1 through 8, and on a 9 or 10, they walk out of the room. So they are going to attack. So not surprising. So, all right. So now what we need to do is we need to go on the faux noise table. I'm not going to go into there's a little combat functionality within Sojour. I don't think I really need to use that. So let me go to my faux noise table. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to roll on this table. So we're going to roll a d10. So let me get a d10. I just have one. So we'll roll that. And I roll a 4. So they have no wounds. So they have different functionality or different attacks, different actions, depending on whether or not they're wounded. So she has no wounds, and she rolled a 4. So she's going to do a standard attack. So let's go back to the map. And I have her description up here, and I have her token that I can get to. Actually, I have to go back, I think, to my session. There we go. So there she is. And, oh, gosh darn it, I forgot one thing. It's not in the guide, but she does have trauma of 3. So whenever you first encounter an enemy, you take that trauma unless you pass a resolve check. So let's open Frank's character sheet, and his resolve is 7. So he's going to roll a d20 and gets to add 7. And this is 3D dice if you don't know what this is. So that is a 16. And you're always trying to beat a 20, so 20 or more. So I failed that resolve test, so I take 3 trauma as this spider-looking girl scares the crap out of me. So now I have 5 trauma. I think I have to pay attention to every time I get to a multiple of 10. I think something happens in trauma, so let's just remember that. But for now, I added my trauma. We're back into combat. So she will do an attack, which is typically a +7, but actually, this is where I get myself a little bit confused. They automatically hit unless I do something. So let's go, meaning like unless I take an action. So let's go back to the guide. And I have no inherent defense, but I can, and this is where I'm not quite sure the timing, but I assume I have to decide that I want to. I don't think I get to wait, until I know if they hit. I think I need to decide, look, am I going to use an action in combat? So I use stealth. So as I understand that, whether you're just coming in the room or trying to stay stealthy, which I think I will because you automatically hit, I think, if you're stealthy. Now I'm trying to remember how that worked. I think that's right. So I'm going to try to at least evade. And so I'm going to say I evade. So let's have them see. Let's just say what it says here. The attack always hits if cautious. Yeah, if you're cautious. Okay. Let's go back to defense and avoiding harm. Evade. Make a dex check against the attack roll. On a success, the attack misses. I mean, otherwise, I'm just going to take damage. So I think I should do that. So let's go ahead. And we're going to say she has a +7. But if you look back in the encounter up here, unfortunately, she's a modified Fonoi, and I already rolled for that. So she gets +1 to her wounds, so her health, +1 to attack. So her attack is a +8. So let me roll a d20 and +8. So she rolls a 17. So I get to then roll my stealth roll, or not stealth, evade roll, which I believe is it dodge? I thought there was a dodge. Let's go back and go to my guide. So they make a dex check against the attack roll. So I think my dex is just 10. If I remember right, there is no, when you first start out, all your skills are the same, I believe. So let's find my character sheet. My dex is 10. So now I'm wondering, when I make a dex check, I haven't had to just do, let's just look back at my attribute checks. To make an attribute check, roll a d20 and add your attribute score. If it's 20 or higher, you succeed. Okay, awesome. So I do get to add 10. That's great. So let's roll my d20 plus 10. And I had a 16. Didn't we tie? Oh, now I missed. I think we both had a 16. So what happens on a tie? Let me, sorry, I'm trying to find this. I'm going to look and see if I can quickly find like tie and opposed check. If there's a tie, both characters re-roll until there's a clear victor. Okay. All right. So let's do this again. So she again rolls a +8. So we're going to roll her +8. Oh, she's at 22. So now we're going to roll me +10. 21. Ugh. All right. So she attacks. So she comes flying at me. She's super agile. She bites me. And that means that I get a wound or a condition. So I get to choose. So let's see if it's in the guide. Oh, that's right. So I'll fail +1 to the damage roll. I don't think she rolls damage. Oh, yeah, you do. That's right. It's not just so because, let's go back down here. Because I was stealthy and I tried to go stealthy. Yeah, here we go. Oh, and because I evaded, I guess it's about the evasion. So I tried to evade. I did not evade. She still got me, and she gets +1 to the damage roll. The damage roll is up here. It's a D3, so I'm going to roll a D6, and then, obviously, look at the results there. A 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a 2 + 1 is 3. So, gosh, I either get 3 wounds or one of these conditions. Oh my God, this is brutal. So I'm going to go down here and we're going to journal this quickly. Okay. What am I trying to do here? Oh, I want to show you. So let's see what the conditions are so that I can determine what to use. So we've got dazed. So I created some cards that we're going to look at, and then I might get rid of them because they take a fair bit of memory, I think. So it might slow down my machine if I leave them in here, and then we'll be knocked down. All right, so dazed. Roll all checks at disadvantage for duration of X rounds. So because it was a 3, that would mean that I have that for 3 rounds disadvantage. I don't love that. Broken. Oh, geez. Broken plus daze 2. On your turn, use move and action to flee it. No, I don't like that. So knockdown plus daze. Jesus, man. Can only move crawling, cannot spend any stamina, and if hit while knocked down, receive the wound. I guess I'll do dazed. I think dazed 3 is the most, all checks at disadvantage. So for 3 rounds, so I'm going to say, I'm just going to say dazed 3 rounds. And maybe I'll just kind of count that down as I think about it. So, all right. So at least I didn't take the damage because he's only got 3 wounds. So now we're at the top of the round. He's going to be cautious. And because he's cautious, that means he automatically hits. So let me just go back to this again and make sure. Maintain stealth, cost 5, which I can do. And the attack always hits if cautious or the enemy is unaware. So I'm gonna be cautious. I've got my wrench. I'm gonna swing the wrench, and let's see if there's anything special with the wrench. I have to remind myself. I think it has I think you get dazed with the wrench. So let me go back to my character sheet, and I'm gonna find the wrench. Daze +1 small. I don't think this is a small. So I don't think that matters. Let's just keep rolling. So we're gonna go straight to damage. Okay, so we're gonna roll a d6, and I'm gonna roll a white die, just to signify that's me. Come on, high numbers. 3, all right, so that's a 2. And I don't get any pluses, so that's a 2. So now I have to go and determine, do they take the wounds, or do they decide to take a condition? So if you go to the phono action table, there's a typo down here, but the relevant language is enemies at full health have a 5 in 10 chance of it should say accepting a condition over damage. So I'm going to say I'm going to roll a d10. 1 through 5 means they take a condition, and 6 through 10 they take damage. So 1 through 5 condition, 6 through 10 damage. So darn it, they took a condition. So now this is where I'm not quite sure, so I'm just going to make a ruling. We're going to go back to guide, and there's 3 conditions. So rather than have them decide or me decide, I guess I'll just roll. And I'm going to roll. What am I going to roll? I will roll. How about a D? If I can find a D. Do I have a D12? I do not have a D. Thought I did. I will just roll a D6, dummy. So I will roll a D6 and 1, 2. So we'll just go in order of conditions. So let's just roll a D6. They rolled a 5, so they're going to take knocked down and dazed +1. So I want to go to their character sheet. I'm going to open their description. Actually, I think what I need to do, so dazed, we're going to go see if I can daze plus knock down to get back to, there we go. And I want to open, can I just double click on them? Because what I want to do, I think, is, it won't let me. That's interesting. I thought I could alter on-mapped characteristics. No, I'll just make a note, I guess. That works. We'll just do it in the description here. So I'm going to say combat notes. So they are knocked down. I guess I could do it in the journal too, but for now I'm just going to do it here. Knocked down plus dazed. And I think it's dazed 2, and I'll explain why. And that is because my wrench gives dazed. So if you remember when we looked at my character sheet, the wrench says dazed +1. So I did get them dazed. So I think that simply means if you hit them, obviously, then you get dazed +1. So in this case, dazed 2. So I'm dazed 3 rounds, and I'll say they are dazed 2 rounds. So I went through, let's see, when did I get dazed? I think they started the round, so, and they hit me, so I'm dazed, so we go back around to them, and it's their turn, so I'm going to say dazed 2 rounds now, I think. I'm used to having a combat tracker in Fantasy Grounds, so, all right. So they are dazed, so again, they're right in front of me. I don't know, let me look again, if you stand up. I'm trying to remember, let's look and see if I can find my condition again. I'm going to look in my PDF, and I'll say knocked down. What is knocked down? I'm searching. Okay. The afflicted is prone, possibly as constant. Yeah, they can only move by crawling 1 meter, cannot spend any stamina, and if they are hit while knocked down, they receive the wound. A successful will recovery check removes the knockdown condition. So I guess you can't just stand up. That's interesting. So I that's how I read it. So let's do a will recovery check. And does she have will? I think you assume. I didn't get. Yeah, I'm gonna look at her. Let's look at the phonoi. First time I've done this, so I know we're flipping around a lot, but let me find the phonoi again and see if it says anything about characteristics. I think it will. Description, trauma, size, defense. Can you bleed? Attacks, special abilities. It doesn't say. Huh. So how do I know what their will is? Do you just assume it's 10 and you give them a plus 10? I don't see in here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to go with, we'll just give them an average. I might ask Alex that one, because I don't see anywhere where it tells you their statistics. And I think in NPCs it does, but phonoi I don't see where it tells you. So you knock her down. I'm just going to give her a 10. So I'll just give her an average. So we'll do a plus 10, and she needs to get a 20 or more. 18, so she got 28. So I guess she's up now, and I don't know if that's the beginning or the end of her turn. So yeah, I guess we'll say that she does that, but she can't spend any stamina. Maybe that happens at the end, and we'll let her decide to do an attack. She doesn't have any wounds, so we're rolling the d10 again. 7. So use special ability. Let's go back to her. Her special ability: agile and fast, imposing a penalty on your attack roll equal to its size. So the good news is that's not that bad, because I'm staying cautious, and as long as I stay cautious, I automatically hit, so that will not implicate me at all. And actually, you know what? I should have rolled, because she's dazed, all of her checks. Let me just make sure that's right, but I think all of her checks dazed, all their checks with disadvantage. So I'm going to roll that d20 one more time and give her that plus 10. Because it's disadvantage, she still succeeds. 21. All right. And so that's right. So great. She's like super fast, moving all around on these spindly legs. But now it comes back to me. So let's go into our session notes here. Dazed. So knocked down, I think you stay knocked down. There's no counter. And I think she's got to pass that will check. But she did. She passed the will check. So she's no longer knocked down, and she will be dazed one more round. Well, we're still in the same round. So 2, I think it'll... Is that right? I think it will be one more round. See if I'm doing this right. All right. So now we go back to Frank, and Frank is going to be cautious. So we'll say he's cautious, so he automatically hits with his wrench. And now we're going to roll damage. I think it says somewhere you don't roll damage at disadvantage. So we're just going to roll our d6. God bless it. 1. So again, we're going to roll a d10, and we're going to say 1 through 5. They take condition, 6 through 10 damage. 1 through 5, condition, 6 through 10 damage. Condition. So now we'll roll our d6 to decide what condition. And we won't do it if it's a duplicate. Okay. So now let's go back to our conditions. And where is my guide? Here we go. So I'd rolled a 4, right? Which is a 2. Since it's a D3. So 2 wounds or 1 of dazed, broken plus dazed, knocked down plus dazed. And oh, sorry, I rolled 4, so that would be broken plus dazed. I think. So let's go back. I'm gonna get myself really tied into knots here. I think I might screw this up. But so dazed. I'm going to open description. No, I keep doing the wrong one. Open description. Why isn't it opening? That's interesting. Maybe it's down here somewhere. Yeah. All right. So dazed. So I'm dazed. She's dazed 2 more rounds, I think. And I'll say plus broken. And broken, let me find that one again and just show you, just since we're learning here. Ah, shoot. Sorry about that. Discord. Go to broken. Copy. Paste. All right. Only on your turn, use your move and action to flee as quickly as possible out of sight of any enemies. -5 to all checks that do not include running or concealing. So what's her move? So does that mean that, like, does she stay broken? How do you get rid of the broken condition? I'm going to go back and look at my PDF and I'll read it to you if I find it. Broken. You're scared, defeated, alarmed, or otherwise persuaded that you'll die. On your turn, use your move and action to flee as quickly as possible until you're in a good hiding spot out of sight of any enemies. All checks that do not include running and concealing earn a -5 penalty. When you're engaged with an enemy, you can't perform any checks to recover from being broken. If you are not engaged, if you are not engaged, may attempt to resolve check at the end of each round to remove the broken condition. Once you get rid of the broken condition, you earn the exhausted condition. Holy moly, that's a pretty bad one. All right, so they're broken. I'm going to leave that for now. So they're going to use their move. And what's their move? Does it say what their move is? I'm going to go back to not my guide, Phonoi. What is their movement? Description, trauma, size, attacks. It doesn't say what their move is. Does it? Huh. So what's their move? So she is the let's go down to Screamer. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll just let her move. Yeah, this one I'll have to ask Alex too, because I don't see her. Maybe it's based on size. I'm gonna try to look it up quickly. Move, conditions, enemy actions. See if it says anything. Enemy actions, blinded, knockdown, stunned. I honestly don't see their movement. I'm gonna say movement. I wonder if it's related to their size, but I don't know. Like I said, I'll just keep moving because it's not clear to me what their move would be. So she is going to move and try to get out of sight, I guess, of me. So I think she's going to go through the door, and I'm not sure how far she can move, but I'll say like she runs through here and tries to get out of sight. So I think then we'll go back. I need to do a better job next time with round counter. So we are gonna go to me, and he's gonna move up and I guess attack her again. And I'm gonna say I'm at 1 round left, and we'll open her description. Oh, not Sammy. There we go. Dazed 2 plus broken. All right. So she does all her. Well, she can't do any checks, right? Like, I'm going to stay stealthy. So I think I just hit again. So I'm going to roll my damage, as I'm afraid that. Will she keep. Because once she's out of. I guess if she's not engaged, can I let her run? Can I let her run away if she becomes broken? And then do I still get all of the. Do I get the Neme, which is the basically experience points? I think you do. I'm going to read again. When you defeat a Phonoi, you get the Neme from their wounds. So I think I could let them run away. She's not engaged. And then I think for now, you basically almost positive. So I think I'm going to let her flee. I might ask Alex that later. But if they're broken, sure seems like you can let them flee and run, and you're good. So I'm gonna do that. Look, I just learning this combat, and I do think that's a pretty powerful condition. But I think that makes sense to me that, like, since you can't do a check to get rid of that, it just makes sense to me that it's kind of like turned, but turned without a duration. So we'll just say, look, like, she got so freaked out and they ran away. So for now, I'm gonna give that to myself, and I'll ask Alex later and see if I screwed that up. But let's go back. And so Neme, I have 10, and her wounds were actually 1 more than normal, was 4. So I get 4 Neme. So that's 4. And I'm going to see, I think I have a counter. So I'm going to say in my session 2, wish I could just figure out how to just do a standard. Sometimes that's a little frustrating. It changes the color and all that. All right. And I'm going to say defeated a screamer who ran away in room 8. All right. So there is Frank. Is there? We got that. I want to look at what I was going to look at is not my modifiers, taint, tracking time. I'm almost at the devouring, which will be interesting. Modifiers and trackers, maybe. So Bono's killed. Neme equals wounds. I did that. Trying to see if there's anything else on the time track by task. Every 3 rooms, you clear a room, +2 on the investigation track. So I did just clear a room, so we'll go to my investigation track. Where is that? Did I keep that in my... Might have kept that in my templates, which I probably shouldn't. I think I should have put it up here and not kept it in the template. Oh. Let's see. Felt like I did that, though. Tracking time. Documents. Nope. Gardens, devouring room, exploration flowchart, modifiers. Where I did this. Oh, I'm gonna have to update this later, I think. But let's add an investigation track to our documents. Don't think it's here. Where I did this, but we'll do investigation. track. Fillable. I might have done it. I might have accidentally done it in the template, and then maybe the template resets because I should have done it here. So now let's look at, make sure that I'm doing it here. Fillable, and I'm going to have to update. I won't waste all of our time doing that here, but I will have to look back and see how many rooms I cleared before. But I did just clear another room. I want to do the +2, and then I'll make sure I save it. And before next session, I'll go back and check this. All right. Don't know if that's how combat's supposed to work, but hey, we'll run with it. So let me go back to my... I'm going to get rid of some of these things like Phonoi for now. I don't need to worry about description. I can get rid of that because that token's gone. And modifiers. Yeah, I can keep that one. All right, so let us go back to our guide. And we're going to go back and each room. So did that, did all that. We got through combat, I think, or what passed for combat for me. And we're going to go to the next room. So we're going to be cautious. So where is my exploration? There we go. So I am going to be cautious, which costs us 1 on the light track. And we're going to go into this corner room down here. And let's find our token. I think I made a bunch of rooms just so I didn't have to do that during the session. So we'll put a token in there. Let me move, probably because I just made it. Yeah, I think I made it static, which is fine. All right, so let's go to Frank's character sheet. And we are going to move here. And I think I decided, do I consume a ration there? And yeah, and then I think we do the light. So let's look at my character sheet and hopefully I have a ration. I think I do. Great, it's 5. So now that goes down to 4. And the next time we have to move forward, we are going to go into the Devouring, which I've never done. So I'm excited about that. So, okay, so let's go back to, we're in our room exploration. So yes, we're being cautious. Roll on the room features for the site. So we do have a room features table apartment block. So for now, I don't know why that's not quite where I need it to be. There we go. And hopefully this saved. Yeah, it looks like it did. So again, what I'm doing, it's not necessarily part of the game. I created a form fillable sheet for these room features just so I don't duplicate. I figured I'd go through the whole thing. Once I found everything, then maybe I'll go through it again. But I just didn't want to have duplicates. So that's not necessarily, Alex liked the idea, but it's not necessarily how the game is as written. Rules is written. 65? 65, room features. Go down and see if I've done that. Nope. All right. The smell of iron pervades the air. Stacked weights, mats, and a short line of old treadmills make up an obligatory workout area. The weights are stacked unusually high for no apparent reason, forming an impressively sized pyramid of sweaty old metal encircled by yoga mats. Interesting. Let's see. I'm going to find that in the apartment block, and give me a second. Oh, I keep forgetting the temperature. Is that? Oh, I'm supposed to have, I think, a -2 to all skill tests. I'll have to look back at my character. Oh, all right. Let me, what I want to do is find the room contents. And I'm going to copy and paste that. Yeah, there we go. I can find the text. Why is that not letting me? There we go. So the way I've been doing this is I'm going into the PDF itself. I might be able to do it here. I don't remember, but then I'm going into the room. I'm going to open up the room. Why isn't it letting me? Maybe I have to. you could look at the description. So let's go back to my static assets, room 9, and we'll edit the room. And we're going to do... Where have I been doing that? Now I'm wondering. Open description? Open description. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do it over here. We're gonna edit the room. We're gonna do add document, and we're just gonna say description. And we'll do a blank document. Okay. And I'm just gonna copy and paste that in here, just so I remember what's there. I don't know why I didn't do it in room 8. And I didn't encounter that phone noise, so I'm not going to worry about it for now. But now if I click on this, good. Yeah. So I'll have to remember to do room 8 next time. Sorry about that. Thought I had done all that. So, okay. So we saw that. So now let's go back to guide. Roll on room features. Roll on room contents. So room contents is next. Go back to my fillable sheet here. Yeah, some reason these did not save as they should have. Now I'm having to resize them all, but that's all right. I think this good. I was going to say, I think I did all this. So let's roll first a d10. And that is a 1. So a discovery. Okay. So roll on the discovery. So the discovery table is a d100. So we'll roll on that. 73. And there's not a ton of these, so I could... Oh, a key puzzle. I've already done one of these, but we'll do a key puzzle. This was a little confusing to me, so let's see if I can remember this. Let's go into the rule book so you can see this, and I will look for it. Key puzzle. All right, here we go. So a player has intelligence divided by 2 tries. So again, since my intelligence is 10, like all my stats, I get 5 tries to solve the puzzle by rolling on the puzzle table level. So let's roll a d6. 1. So puzzle level is P. So my peril level is just 1. So I just need to obtain, I believe, a 1. Is that right? Roll the puzzle's level in d6. Peril level plus 1 dice. It means you must roll. The number obtained becomes the target number to obtain. So you must roll your peril level plus 1. So I'm just P, so it's just 1 die. So let's just roll a d6, I believe. That's a 6. So the target number is a 6. So now you roll a d6 die 1 by 1 until you reach the precise number. So I get 5 tries. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to roll a d6. So I got a 1. Now I got 4 tries left. I'll roll again. So now 1 plus 3 is 4. So I've got 3 tries left. I've got a 4. I want to get a 2. So I understand it. So I got a 3. So I think that means I'm up to 7. I've got 2 left. And then I think once you're above, you subtract. Let me roll a d6. Oh, got it wrong. I need a 1. I'm at a 7. I got a 2, so now I'm down to 5. I got my last roll, and I need a 1 to solve it, period. I didn't solve it. I think I'm doing puzzles right. That's a little confusing, so I think I've got it. So, all right. So I did not solve the key puzzle, but that is done. And let me just, I'll say encountered a key puzzle and failed to solve it again. I know I failed it the first time too. Let's just save. Yep, save. So I think that's that. And if I remember right, go back to my guide. So I could search the room. You know what? I'm going to search it. Why not? It's a scavenging roll. And I believe, again, it's been a minute since I've done this, but I think I roll, yeah, my scavenging. So I roll a 20 plus 8, and then target is a 20. So I got a 25. So I do succeed. So now let's see if I can find. I thought I had scavenging. Maybe I have a scavenging table in here somewhere. Scavenging. Now let's go look in the rule book. All else fails, look at the rule book. So I'm going to put in scavenge. I think it's up here. So when you search a room, you make a scavenge check. If you're successful, so now I roll 2d6, so let's do that. And I roll a 7. One scavenged item, roll on the scavenged item table, so that's going to be a d20. I got a 2, 1 times ammo. I would have loved a battery instead, but let's go to my tracker here, and not my tracker, but my character sheet. I'm just going to say ammo 1, just, I don't know. Save. But now I do want to go back because I think I've been screwed. I don't think it's changed my rolls too much, but I got to remember this next time. And let me open the character sheet. Why is it not? Maybe it's at the bottom here again. No. Come on, Frank, open. Why isn't it letting me open the character sheet? Must be in here and I'm just not seeing it. Rulebook, features. Oh, that's my character sheet. What I really want is to. Do I just want to edit Frank? Edit Frank? Let's look at these. Check modifier -1. See, I got to remember that. I tried to put it there so I didn't forget. And I'm about to start a round, so I have to worry about these ambushes. But I do have to remember -1 to all checks because of the cold factor. I'd done that. I don't think I've had too many that it would have dropped me below the threshold. But all right. So I did search the room, so that moves it forward on the time track. So let's go back to my character sheet. And I think I'm going to play just a little bit more. Been going about 45 minutes. So now that switches over. Now I'm on cycle 3, which, as I understand it, puts me in the Devouring. So I need to change my batteries, which unfortunately I'm almost out. I think I'm going to be in a load of trouble here soon. So, but I do get to change my battery. But yeah, I'm down to 1 battery. So I need to delete that. So down to 1 battery. And now, so I am in apartment block level 2. So everything changes in the Devouring. So let me find the map for level 2 Devouring. And I'm going to move my token to it. So I am in that room 9, just above the stairways. So we'll bring Frank on here. Right there. You can kind of see that it's similar but different. Like there's all this weirdness. It seems like you're basically in the upside down world is what I think. So I think everything's different. Let's read the Devouring together. So on a normal day, Riverside seems to have been overtaken by abominations of all kinds. Streets lead nowhere, all kinds of shit's happening. However, all this though pales in comparison to the horrors that befall upon this quiet little town during what locals call the Devouring. So you see a bright light so intense that all you can do is shield your eyes. And once that happens, your light source like flickers, and I think it works, but it's a lot harder to see. Your surrounding have changed completely. There's dead animals everywhere. The walls and doors are now made of rusty metal. There's a smell of blood in the air. Here and there, you see mutilated human remains piled against the walls, hanging on meat hooks. So it's just nasty. So now what we'll do is we use the devouring version of the maps as well as encounter and events tables. So let me, because I flipped over, I want to look up ambush encounters. Why is it not finding ambush? That's interesting. Oh, because I'm in the devouring. Let's go back to the rule book. Go back to the rule book. Somewhere. There we go. Rule book. And we're going to say ambush. So let's see. And I know I do. Once you exit your apartment, it's fine. So roll a d6. I want to say like you automatically get ambush encounters, but let's start by rolling a d6 and see what that says. I rolled a 1, of course. So 1 or 2 means you're ambushed. So these are always ambush attacks. Let's see. And such they have the initiative. So as I understand this, these are always phonoi. I asked Alex about that. So let's go and do a few things, a few cleanup items. So for Frank, I'm going to edit Frank. And so we're down to 5 of 6 remaining. So we are going to take our first ambush encounter. So now we're going to roll to determine the phonoi. I don't remember if the phonoi are in here. If not, I've got that table somewhere. All right, let's go back. And let's see if we can find our phonoi here. And I think if I scroll down, scroll down. There we go. D10. So let's roll a D10. 9. Varicose. So varicose. So we know it's a varicose. So let's pull out a varicose from our token palette. So for now, let's get him on the map. Him or her. I don't know which. Where is my varicose? There we go. Looks kind of nasty. And wounds 30. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I think this is a run. So 30. Oh my god. So we will go back and it's they have initiative. This is not good. So okay. Varicose, what else do I need to do? I'm losing my train of thought. Ambush encounter. Oh, I need to get rid of this. And then I need to just see if he needs to be buffed up at all. So we will open the phonoi and we'll see. We start with the encounter difficulty. So we'll roll a d10 there. 5. Advanced. Add 1 wound and 1 attack. So great. Instead of 30, he's got 31. So, but we will make a note of that. Why is that always flip? That really frustrates me. I've got to go down here and always change it. I'm going to have to ask creator of Sojour why it does that. Probably something I'm doing. So encountered a varicose in the first room during the devouring. Room 9, I think. And we'll say advanced +1 wound, +1 attack. And then we'll say modifier. Maybe I just have to start typing, and even though it looks like it's gonna do italics and blue, it doesn't. I don't know. So, all right, so now let's go to the modifier. That's 2d6. Let's roll my 2d6 here. And that is a 6. No modifier. Thank heavens for small favors. Modifier. No modifier. All right. So this thing starts. So let us open the phonoi. Probably already got rid of it. Nope, I didn't. So we are going to open the phonoi and their action table. So I don't think there's anything else I need to do. We're just going to roll a straight up D10. And fall back? Oh my god. So grants +1 defense until the enemy's next turn. That's probably by far the best thing that could happen. So he's like getting defensive. Maybe he ambushed me, but I caught him by surprise. So now I'm gonna have to open the rule book here, and if I can find it, yeah, I want to see the rules for fleeing because this thing's got 31, excuse me. So let's go back to assets. Let's go back to rulebook. And I'm going to say, like, type in flee, I think. Flee. I think there's a flee. Pretty sure I can flee. Come on. Well, let's go into combat. And if I go into combat, should be a, or maybe let's see. Come on. I think I'm too far towards the end of the book. Hiring, upkeep, combat behavior, combat. Right. Okay, let's look through here. Oh, those are skills. Come on. Counterattack. Okay, here we go. Geez, sorry about that. All right, let's go down here. All right, turn versus round, stamina, moving, yada, yada, yada. Did it say anything? Because I didn't figure all combats can move 5 meters per round. Okay. So I didn't have to worry about they all move 5 meters. So when that thing ran away from me, it's good to know that it's just always 5. All right. So where is like defending, fleeing? I know I can flee. Evade, enemy actions, conditions, knock down, overwatch, disengaging from combat. To escape from a melee, a combatant must pass an opposed dex defense check against the highest defense. So if you disengage, do you just get to run away? I think so. To escape from a melee, a combatant must pass an opposed. I guess that means like I get away, run out of the room, and the thing's gone. So let's try it. So I'm gonna use my dex. Pass an opposed dex defense check. Okay. What is his defense? I might get a little stressed out when I figure out what his defense is. So let's open his defense. Well, wait a second. He's got nothing. Dracosa is automatically struck, so I guess I'll read that his defense is 0. So he still gets to roll, but he just doesn't get a modifier. We'll go with that. Okay. So I'm gonna roll my d20, and now I get a -1, so don't forget that. So we'll start with a -1, but then my dex is 10, so I get to add 10, so that should be a +9. Oh my god, nice! What a time to roll out and get the best roll here. I mean, he can roll, but it really doesn't matter because even if he rolls a 20, so let's just roll for him, and doesn't really matter. But funny, 14. So I disengage and I run away from him, but I think I'm not gonna give myself any benefit from that, but I feel like it does say somewhere that you still get the points whether or not you kill it or defeat it. But in this case, since I'm just running away, I don't think you should get the experience from the encounter. I might see if I can find that anywhere. Bonoi. A fleeing, okay, that's what it says. A fleeing enemy will still grant meme. So since I'm fleeing, I obviously don't get an MA, and that's interesting. It's good to know that they flee, and I think I took the broken condition that they fled. So I hope that was right. So you know what? I'm going to call it there. It's been just at an hour. I had fun. I'm really enjoying this. Sorry, it's still a little bit disjointed as I'm learning rules. I think I have a few things to ask Alex if he thinks I screwed anything up completely, but obviously it's a solo game. I can do whatever rules I want, but I am interested to see if I messed anything up. So I'm going to clean up a few things for next time, and I will try to remember the trackers. I think I need to go back and do some of the trackers that I missed, but that'll be easy enough. But we are in the Devouring. We just ran away from a Varicose. I think I actually might have a image of a Varicose. And actually, I didn't even say that. I got so excited with the ambush encounter. I don't think I pulled up the description of the Varicose. Tell you why I wanted to run. So let's find that. So you can kind of see the image that I included here. So here's what it says: is a mass of writhing bodies. The Varicose is similar to the corpse mound, but instead of being animated dead, it is alive. Thick, throbbing veins connect the bodies, winding around flesh and into and down the throats of the various faces and heads. The creature is ungainly and slow, but relentless. It is nearly impossible to kill. So that's why I ran. And again, I'll have to look next time, but because his defense was 0, I'm just assuming that it is, you just rolled the post check with 0. So hopefully that made sense. So that's it. Until next time, thanks again for watching, and hope you come back to continue to see Frank's adventures, and I hope you're enjoying Under Ashen Skies. Until next time.